Hey friends, look at this photo. This is not just a tweet, which Ed Sheeran posted on July 31st, 2011, in which he wrote, "Give me a few years, I've got big plans." If we see broadly, it seems just a big thing, which he said. But actually, it is not a big thing. This is a commitment. A decision. Or you can call it a grit also. Grit, due to which, around 10 years later Sheeran became one of the best-selling music artists. His dream of becoming one of the best singers, he achieved it because of grit. And this is not about odd ones out, that it is done by just Ed Sheeran. In fact, all the people who do big things, whether they are Olympic athletes, Nobel Prize-winning scientists, billionaires, or investors, grit is found in all of them. And if you have to do big things in your life, then you would also have to make a decision that you bring grit in your life. See, talent is valued the most in our society. It's not about just India, you see, in the whole world. Talent. All of them have tried to run behind talent. They value talent a lot. Many shows get made on talent. World's Got Talent, India's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. What happens because of focusing on talent? They forget one thing behind that talent, that is efforts. I think, instead of India's Got Talent, we should make a show named India's Got Effort. Because at the end, talent comes out of efforts. And only I am not saying it. When the author Angela Duckworth was in her 20s, she had become a school teacher where she noticed a weird thing. For example, the smartest kids of her class, who were very sharp-minded and, if you see, they should get the highest marks, but it never happened in her class. Maximum smart people didn't get good marks. Whereas other students who had grit, they might not understand the concept in the first try, but still, they used to score the highest. She observed it on all the people, not just in class. When after some years, Angela Duckworth had become a psychologist and researcher at the University of Pennsylvania, she was still obsessed with this question, why some people are more successful. She did so many studies to find out its answer. She researched on national spelling bee champions, elite military training graduates, Olympic athletes, top leaders of the corporate. She researched on all those people to understand how much talent is important and how much effort is important. And she has named the findings of that research grit, which is the mixture of two things. First is passion, one thing which you are passionate about. And second is perseverance, such a thing in which you can stay for a long time. And the combination of both is grit, which takes people to their highest potential. Author says in her book Grit, effort counts twice. Maximum people are not able to understand this sentence, which she explains and tells that if you are talented in something since childhood, then you won't be able to go forward on the basis of just talent. You would have to mix efforts. When you multiply both, you get skill. First, now again, when you put efforts with this skill, only then you get achievement. If we see the example of Ed Sheeran, people think that Ed Sheeran was a talented kid. No. Maybe he had a little talent for singing, but because of that talent, he was able to become one of the biggest artists. The reason behind it was grit. He used to sing in a local church at the age of 4. At the age of 11, he learned to play guitar, which needs efforts, not just talent. And he started writing songs in his high skills. His dream was to be in the world's best singers, for which he took more than 10 years. Continuous efforts for 10 years. Only then we know this person. So if you also want to be the best version of yourself, want to take your human capabilities to the highest, then you would have to add grit in your life. And for that, the author tells a process of 3 steps, which I will share with you. And I will also share 4 psychological parameters, which are very important for you to bring into life if you want to move forward with grit. First, let's talk about that 3-step process, in which let's see step number 1. Author Bill Burnett says, until you know where you have been, till then you can't know where you are going. Whether it is about your health, your financial condition, your relationship, or your happiness. Like there is a software. If you want to improve that software, want to make it the best, then first you have to know the current functionalities of the existing software, what its code is. The more you understand the existing code, only then you would be able to make version 2.0 by solving that problem. Similarly, if you are the 1.0 version currently, in order to make the 2.0 version, you will have to know where you are right now. If you go to the gym and hire a good trainer, then he won't ask you to do exercise. Maybe he would ask you to do exercise, but first he will try to know your current weight, height, your measurement, and lifestyle. And then he will give you a diet accordingly, which you can maintain and can reduce your weight in a healthy way. That's why if you want to know where you want to go, then first find out, where are you? And then apart from that, create a vision. And this is your step number 1. What is vision? That you can look into the future, where you've reached, where you have to go, and how you want to look. And for this, you have to perform a dreaming exercise. Like for example, you have to imagine yourself in 4 areas. First is your health. Go and stand in front of the mirror and look at your body. Analyze how fat or thin you are. If you are thin, then you have to do cardio in the gym. All these things won't make sense. Your vision is to develop good muscles, and it won't be good for you as others are doing. But yes, first look yourself in the mirror, evaluate yourself, where are you? And then imagine your perfect body avatar. What you think your weight should be, how your muscles should be. Start imagining, try to imagine your perfect shape in the mirror. How would clothes suit you? Try to imagine that. Imagine how tired you would be while doing a workout. How you would walk physically, what you would eat, imagine all these things. Create a vision of your perfect avatar. Second, do this for your wealth. See, what is your income right now? What is your worth per hour? In the worst case scenario, it would be 0. If it is 0, it is fine. But what is the vision? Where do you want to go? How much do you want to earn every month? When you put your bank ID in your mobile, through the app, then what your balance should be, how many digits should be there, which car you would be driving, imagine that. Imagine where you would be traveling. How many properties you would have, how many stocks you would have, how many YouTube channels you would have, how many followers you would have. Imagine all these things. Create a vision of your perfect wealth. You have to do the same thing for your relationships. Your family, friends, partner, imagine how it should look perfect with everyone. And do it for your happiness also. How you would stay happy, how happy you want to live. You have to imagine in every area. Have to see a vision. And when you would see and create a vision, then you have to come to step 2, which is set right plan, goals, and strategy. A movie named Dune was released in 2021, in which there was a very good dialogue. Dreams make good stories. But everything important happens when we are awake, because that's when we make things happen. Neil Armstrong's dream of going to the moon would have been a dream only if he wouldn't have done work, studies, or tough training on becoming an astronaut. Vision of reaching the moon was okay, but how many things they had to do to reach there, we don't know them. Similarly, how hard you will have to work to achieve your goal, how goals and strategies you would have to make, you would have to create that. For this, you can do an exercise. Brian Tracy also tells for himself, make a 5 to 10 years plan for yourself, and then do reverse engineering. Like, the weight of your ideal body is 70 kilograms, or 80 kilograms, or 90 kilograms, whatever it is. What kind of yearly goal you should create to reach
there, what monthly goal you should set, what weekly goal you should set, what daily goal you should set. Write down all these things. The more right plan, goal, or strategy you make, the higher the chances that you would achieve that goal. In fact, psychologist Gail Matthews did a study in 2015. According to which, those who write a clearly defined goal, there are 33% more chances that they would achieve this goal. Many researchers say big numbers about it. Those who note down the goals and make plans, their chances of getting success keep increasing. So, you also start defining what you can do for weight loss. You can go to the gym, watch swimming lessons, decide how your diet should be. What you can do for relationships, like reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, reading 5 love languages. Which 3 books you can read in the coming 3 months, what you can do for business. Maybe you have to find a partner, you have to make a prototype of a business idea, you have to make an MVP, minimum viable product, or Red Lean startup book. What actions you can take today, this week, or this year. Try to write those things which can take you to your goals in coming years. In fact, you can do one more exercise, which is called My Perfect Day. How your perfect day should look like, what is its vision? Start writing that. When you want to wake up in the morning, what you want to do after that, start writing them one by one. And remember, how you write is your vision. You will take a lot of time to reach there. You would have to see failures many times. Like I have also set goals many times, have written good things, but I was not able to do all those things. But does it mean that I quit? No. I keep trying even today to reach the perfect vision. This is what you have to do while remembering step 3, that is set new standard by reminding yourself of the great purpose. 3 people were doing a job of putting bricks on a construction site. When the first man was asked, "What are you doing?" he said, "I am putting bricks." When the second one was asked, he said, "I am making a church." When the third person was asked, he said, "I am building the house of God." You tell, whose work has more meaning? Who is working with more purpose? Whose work, you think, can be best? Who would be working with passion? Obviously, the third one. Because see, this is true, your work should have passion and perseverance. But there would be passion, perseverance and grit when you have a higher purpose. Example, an author did a survey on 16,000 Americans, where she wanted to see who shows the most grit, who gets the most pleasure from their work, or who is fulfilling a purpose from their work. After the research, she found no matter what the grit level is, everyone was getting pleasure as per their work. But those who had more grit, all of them had a higher level of purpose which they were serving. It shows that all the high achievers, who are able to reach their best versions, are able to push themselves more than others. And if they are able to push, then they have grit. And there is a reason behind this grit, which is purpose. Purpose means, why are you doing that work? What is the emotional reason behind that? There is a very good example of grit, David Goggins. There are 4 psychological assets in these 3 steps. Paragons of grit, which I told earlier, which I was calling parameters. The author says that there are 4 psychological assets of paragons of grit, which you should have. First is interest and passion, which we have already seen. Second is practice, means how much practice you are doing. Third is purpose, which I have explained now. And then fourth is very important, which is hope. No matter how much interest you have, no matter how much practice you do, you would be able to practice better when you would have purpose, and you would have hope with purpose, that I would get the results of the hard work I am doing. I will get the best version of myself. Bring all the 4 things in your life: interest, practice, purpose, and hope. A person has all these things. There is a person who inspires me a lot, and he has a lot of grit. By seeing that grit, it comes in me also, by listening to his story. The name of that person is David Goggins. You must read or listen to his story once. Trust me, whenever I listen to his story, then, I run 20 minutes even if I have to run for 10 minutes. I get so much grit after listening to his story. So, you also check out his story once.